Heyo Friendos. Heyo Friendos. Heyo Friendos. It's me, very Goldheart. And I'm here with my first podcast episode. First official podcast episode. We'll be doing like podcasty stuff. So, it's just me in this one. Eventually I can do these where I have things set up better or whatever we happening now. It's like, this is it. Woo. So, today we got a few things to talk about. So let's do that. We're gonna talk about things. So, beginning, we should start somewhere. Okay. Yes, I got my hands kind of working again. So you can do hand stuff. Hopefully when I do expressions and things like, whoa, hopefully they'll show up good. Let's see here. This dad, my voice is working, this is working. Oh, I was able to live stream. Yeah. So, I was able to do a live stream today. Probably yesterday was Wednesday. I was able to do a live stream. And that was weird, yeah, but it worked. And I think when I do that again, I could do it and actually make it like good. Or at least decent. So there's that. But that's pretty cool. It means I'll be able to do like a big chat thing like this and have like, chatterino over there and stuff. And I can make chat. I can have come through. I don't want to see them yet, but I'll figure it out. But I'm able to stream on YouTube, at least. So, yay. I might try and make a Twitch thing and try that out, too. But I don't know yet. Understand that stuff too well. But, yeah. So, that's a thing. And it's pretty cool. So, hopefully I'll be able to do one of these things, like, once a week. That's my hope. No. Okay. The hope is that I'll be able to get to live stream once a week. Oh, whoa. And do, like, videos twice a month. Yeah, I have plans for that. Woo! So, let's see here. Now I was able to live stream. I got my terms. Well, I'm looking into Patreon and things like that. Just see if there's a way I can get to where people can, they can support me. I want to be able to do this full time. I want to be able to be doing, all the making games, working on things, building TTRPGs, chatting about all the stuff I'm doing, and playing TTRPGs here on stream. And playing normal, like video game things on stream as well. So yeah, it'll be really cool. But I gotta get there, but I need support and help to get there. Yeah. Oh, I will notice, and before I have a chance to forget, because I might forget, I'm tired now, but I'm doing this anyway. I've got stuff getting done, yeah. So, on the stream, or not the stream, all my good. I'll get back to this in a second here. Let my brain cook. Let it. That's not good for your brain to cook. Anyway, I love you, friendos. Talk good. And speaking about my love of you, friendos, I have linked a Ko-Fi in the description. That's not for me. It's not for anything like that. It's for a friend of mine, Sakura, who is a pivotal member of the CRC community. And my best friend right now, honestly. Like, I don't really have friends where I am anymore. And people I know in Alaska were there, but, our relationship's a little different than that. And there's people I've known in a lot of other places around the world, too. But Sakura is really my best friend. And who I talk to most right now. So she has a Ko-Fi set up. So if you want to support her, please do so. Send some money her way. Help her out. She's working 3 jobs to try to support herself, her sister, their kid. You know, like Mies. I said that it. Oh, I said Mies. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's the right term for that. Sister's kid. Yeah. Okay. And all that. She's really working hard, and she's a really fun, nice, cool person. She's like the official Twitter Earth Chan and all these other things. Like she's doing so much. And I'm really deserves your support. And check her out, see what she's up to and stuff. You know, we'll talk to her. You can help her out on Coolfy. You should it. I want to say this. I didn't set up the Coolfy for her. There were other members of the community, including Spencer Edmund, who worked hard to help get that set up off the ground. Which is great. I'm very happy about that. I was able to send some money to help out. I'm so happy seeing the community band together again to help out someone who needs it. Yay, I love this community. Damn. Things that totally decent. So, let's talk about some other stuff. There's gonna be a random day of random stuff. I want to do new videos that world building. I think this will be coming out pretty soon. When I start doing world building videos, I think besides doing general rules and stuff there for world building as a first thing, I'm going to do a world building project that he has a fun thing to do. So that'll be cool. And I have this video, which is general ends. So let's talk about Sonya by my other videos and stuff. So I'm playing Hunter the Reckoning. Very far. Editing videos is hard for me. Like, it is. I don't get it. My brain doesn't want to click with it. It's a bunch of annoying stuff. So editing the videos is gonna take time. I was hoping to have it just be all October long. You have these quick little videos, the images, boom, 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 and it'd be done. You see, it's probably gonna last until October. Through October into November, so I'm tired. But I'm going. So yeah, they're probably gonna last like that. It's just because of editing. Taking the time to do these things. Honestly, I don't know. This is, well, it's hard for me to do. I do a lot of work. I'm trying to do things so that I can have a life. It's not just body breaking work for a factory I don't care about. You know, I'm trying to get out of that and get doing cool, fun stuff. So I know I can. I know all this information and stuff. But this is how I'm stuck. It's so annoying. Yeah, I got it. You know, it'd be an absolute disaster if I stay stuck where I am. Gotta move forward. I can't just straight up and abandon it because I need the income. So I have a house. So, makes it a little tougher. But yeah, here I am. Doing the things. So, getting to do Minecraft videos again is gonna be work because of how much stuff takes up. But we will eventually get there. I'm going to try a few different things out. Yeah. I I'm down with that conversation about my homies. Yeah, I'm gonna get there. It's just we gotta keep practicing stuff. We're gonna do Dwarf Fortress at some point too. But main videos is we're doing a generalized podcast. I do like this. And we're gonna be doing another one that's more specialized. Every week we have 2 podcast episodes. Well, gonna do a world building project from our second one, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll be like, well, we're just story time. Don't know yet. We'll get figured out. But yeah, this is the first actual one where I'm sort of loose out here doing this, really know what's happening. It's nobly out. So let's see here. Let's see. So yeah, I've been working on the Hunter the Reckoning TTRPG videos and projects. I've been doing some sketches with pencil and whatnot, so And I have a little journal saying, and I have a pencil, I'll sketch it, play in there, and I have one ready for the background. And then I have somebody to go onto the screen, so we get to see them up there being part of the video, it'll be included, like, whoop, brought in as needed. And they'll be pretty fun. So that's exciting. I'm happy about that. I showed some people and they seem pretty cool with it, so yay. It's awesome. I was talking about, with people from the CRC, of course, I was talking about some of the characters and creatures that we can encounter and some of the stuff that's changed, some of the stuff that's different. But amongst that stuff, there were other things that came up that, I think I should talk about here too. Yeah. So, related to World of Darkness, Hunter the Reckoning stuff, we got talking about Kachina Dolls. And I think it's an important thing to bring them up here because they're cool. Like, the World of Darkness setting has the Heyo, which they basically use as the catch-all term for air quotes American fairies and air quotes. For a lot of things don't belong in that category, but that's besides the point. And then they summarized a bunch of different things. They did a weird job trying, but they tried, which is more than I can say for a lot of people. Yeah. So in there they have Kachina as one of the categories, one that's ancient and B. But they did a weird job. This made them shrink over time and stuff. Now, when I played World of Darkness, that's me playing Werewolf the Apocalypse, but I did some Hunter the Reckoning and a few other things out there in Alaska. Yes, right. And I do not know how messed up the Nunahe were. You people complain about them a lot. But for the most part, when they're implemented in the games and stuff, they were cool and fun and fine. I had no idea those were modified from their actual in-game version. So, wow. The Kachina in the official more stuff just shrink as they get older. Like, that's weird. Yeah, and that they're all special focused and stuff. It's just a little weird. So, the way I've seen them was that when we would play with Kachina, when they would show up, they were very different. Like, man, okay. So, the Kachina had what do you call it? I explain it because I didn't play as them. We would encounter them. So that's a little hard to explain. I don't have the change ring game words for it. But basically, they had a typing that they were. Like they were a guardian, or they were a whipper, or they were a wolf, or they were, whatever. And sometimes it would be a combination of things. It'd be like a garden woman and a wolf, or like a mud man, mudhead, and or a joker, which would be like I guess clown, but yeah, like a clown and another thing together at once, and we had like the butterfly woman and a clown together, and two roles for one, combined, and they were really neat. But these roles defined their life and the lessons they would go out there to not just teach, but personify, and they would do these things. And that wasn't always good things. Like it could be a story about like an evil wolf who does these great harmful acts that they go and they play out and recreates and make sure others learn the lessons of how not to be the way that they are. Whatever. Like usually wolf is good, but there are specific ways doing specific things. And they're all unique like that. Each individual Kachina you would encounter was their own unique person. Who reflected a story in their life and manifested it around them. It was really neat. And the characters, as they had this thing where they would have the doll or another resting place, and they were used as a resting place, whatever this thing was. It's usually the Kachina Dolls, as we all knew what the hell those were. But there could be other things that they use, extreme objects, whatever, and they could go into those and rest, and that would be how they would access the dreaming, as while they were there. But the interesting thing was, the more time they spent there, like in their rest item, the more like the story they would manifest, and that included physically, so they would become more and more like the doll. And that would include shrinking, because I can do a mechanic, but that included, changing their, like, face to broad and give the big teeth of, like, the guardian, or, to get the fur growing across them as the old wolf and stuff, so they would become very strange behind them, look human again. And so if they weren't working really hard at it to be human, they would look like this thing, and they would shrink a bit. But I liked it, and I also liked not including the shrinking sometimes. I don't know if they were using other abilities to grow in size or stuff. I don't know all the changeling stuff. But we encountered a guardian. He was big, he was like 8 feet tall. We had to deal with him, and like try to get around him. And that was a disaster. We did not do well. But yeah, I mean, sure, some of our Krynos flames were taller, but well, you knew what he was doing. We were scrubs. So, we have. But yeah, so I remember them being like that and being really cool. So when I'll use them, they'll be more like that. Be very colorful, very interesting, very cool. And I know it's something in the official books basically said they only ever wear traditional dress, but if you've seen Kachina Dolls, you know that's not the case. The Kachina Dolls are very much ceremonial dress outfits, what they're wearing, to represent the spirits, but there are ones who you'll see dressed up in like a normal shirt or like a tuxedo or something like that. Yeah, you will see those sorts of things on them. And that's because that's what the spirit was wearing. As like the Kachina Dolls didn't just stop with ancient stories of ancient times and that's it. Like, oh, sorry, only ancient things happened. The spirits don't exist anymore. No, that's not the case at all. They're still around. They're still doing things. They're still representative thstories and things are happening. And it's a living part of Hopi and with Diné culture. And the only reason it's part of Diné culture is because the white man moved them. And the Hopi were willing to host them. And because they are respectful, they're another culture and they have their own Kachina Dolls and traditions now. So, pretty cool. So, that's another thing. We look up Kachina Dolls, and we'll find that there are Hopi Kachina Dolls, and there are Navajo Kachina Dolls. So, yeah. When I ever hear white people talk about this, or even the machines nowadays, because they've been taught too much by the white men, there's issues that come up. Like, they will call Hopi Kachina Dolls, like, true Kachina Dolls, best Kachina Dolls, real Kachina Dolls, etc. Use terms like that for describing the Hopi ones, and for the Navajo ones, they call them fake or wrong. Wrong's the most common word I see used to describe the wrong Kachina Dolls. That's not right at all. So I want to go ahead and talk about that real quick. So, Hopi Kachina Dolls are very specific. They are made of one piece of kaja root, and that's it. Like, you carve that thing, you paint that thing, and you make it to represent the story as accurately as you can, and the depiction of the spirit as accurately as possible. The whole point you're going for there is realistic accuracy towards the spirit, how it's represented in ceremonial uniform, and the dance that you do to respect it. That is what's going on with the Hopi ones, and you do it all out of the cottonwood. Has to be of respect to them. Your whole thing is this very specific process. due for this very specific reason, to accurately reflect that. If you've made a Hopi Kachina doll correctly, by looking at the Kachina doll, you can tell the story relating to that spirit instantly. You just look at it, you can tell the story as is, as intended. Oh, boom, go ahead. That's a Hopi Kachina doll. The Navajo Kachina doll, as they called her. Those made by the Dene are more abstract. They're not wrong. And not worthless, they're not inaccurate, they're not broken, they're not any of these stupid terms. They are abstract. Now, the Navajo Kachina dolls are designed to be abstract. What does that mean? It means you look at the doll. It's very bright, it's very colorful, and it's made respectfully, but in a different way. So instead of being carved from one piece of cotton rib, they are instead carved out of whatever wood, and they are mud-hut accented, usually with leather and fur. Now, these are designed to actually go with it, so a lot of times leather will be treated as things to make sure, like, waterproof, and all this video lab work on these, okay? It's a lot of work. And they make these and put the stuff there and everything and work on them so it stays there. And feathers, too. Feathers going on these guys. But they make those, and these tell you the overarching details of the story, the important lesson. Now, the whole point of it is so you get the quick and simple, what is this for? And so any version of the story of the spirit, any of the spirits who are of that particular one, like, whether it's of the eagle or the wasp or, the garden lady or anyone, that spirit, any of those spirits who fit that category or combination of categories can come and rest within the Kachina doll. And, that those are meant to pay homage to the variety of them there who tell a similar story. That's their point. These are two entirely different things. One is for an incredibly specific individual spirit from an individual story, and the other one is for any spirit that fits within that spectrum. Totally different things. Both are incredibly respectful. Like, why would the Hopi allow the Navajo to make these things if they were just being rude, disrespectful, and wrong about them? They wouldn't. And now they would distance themselves or ask someone else to host them. It's not... What? So anyways, both of them are correct, both of them are good, but for entirely different reasons. And if you want to collect Kachina dolls or look into them and stuff, you do not call Navajo Kachina dolls wrong or fake or anything like that. Because they're not. They're abstract. Whereas the Hopi ones are specific. It's two different things. We don't go around calling Jackson Pollock dog shit. We don't do that. You don't say, oh, Jackson Pollock, be wrong. He's an idiot. He's the most worthless artist to ever exist, Jackson Pollock. Blah. No, we call him the abstract painter. Because that's what it is. It's not wrong. It's just not realistic hyper detail or anything like that. It's a different set of things. Like anime and manga. There's their own styles, their own things. We don't call manga wrong comics. If you do, you're a bad person. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Like, no, you need to fix that. They're called manga because that's what they are. Yeah. So there we go. That needed to be said. I had to get all that out because it was a whole ridiculous thing. I still think the World of Darkness stuff with the Kachina stuff is... There should be its own subcategory of creature because there's all these different spirits who fit within it. So I think maybe it should be a thing that you can take as a background you can choose for being another kind of creature. Like it's a beast or a hero or, a changing and whatnot. Any of those sorts of things you could choose to take Kachina which would then allow you to have this rest in place and this it represents you, but also this purpose in your life that you have to go out and fulfill that will change you the more and more you invest. You become more exemplary of that story. So yeah, I think that's a whole thing that should be modified and fixed up and made cool. Maybe I should make a little TTRPG just about that concept. I don't know. Maybe I should. Okay. We're editing that as something for my own, I don't know. But yeah, improve your games, make your games better, and be respectful of the art that's around you. And the art you uncover and find. Be respectful in general, but you can't help it. Okay. So, there's that need to be said. You got there. Okay. Well, just starting to make semi-World of Darkness focus because I can't. Let's see here. Okay, so let's talk about some other World of Darkness stuff. So, in World of Darkness, there's werewolves. I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about this big aspect, so I'm gonna get done. So, werewolves in World of Darkness had this thing called tribes. And it makes no sense that they're called tribes, because the word tribe is not being used correctly. So, for those who don't know, the word tribe means essentially it's 3 nations. And where does that come from? It comes from Rome area, and there were 3 barbarian groups around there, who they called barbarians. So, those 3 groups were collectively called the tribes. And that included the Goths and a few others. So, that it puts them in truly 3 because there's the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths, which are different. Mary gets right. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. But that's where tribes comes from. And then we wound up using tribes for anyone who was deemed primitive by whatever culture you were a part of. But that's not what tribe means. It's not what it's ever meant. And it's not what it's for. It's for those 3 specific nations who were around the area. So the term is wrongfully applied to the werewolves for their spiritual groups. Now, I've heard a term used before, which would come up sometimes in games we play. I have no idea where it came from. I have no idea what language it is. I know nothing about this word. I've heard the word Harrukh, Haruk, or Hamk, I read both ways, used as another word to replace tribe. That has happened, and I don't know why or where it came from. There's a made-up word just for the game people were using, or if it was this is the werewolf language words, I don't know. Or if it was from one of the I'm saying tribes over still. If it was one of the words from one of the oh my god, I can't speak today, but I'm trying to do this. Oh my goodness. So if it was one of the words from one of the different native groups out there, I played with Adna. There's Adna, Gwich'in, Yupik, a lot of different people. So it could have been any of their languages. The word is not commonly used. It doesn't sound like certain languages. Like, I don't think it's Alu. I don't. But there are other ones where it could be. It could be like some offshoot Atna word or some specific Atna-based word from one of the other languages that comes from the same root. It could be a Haida word. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. And I have no idea what it means. But people use that sometimes in the replacement of tribe when talking about werewolf groups. So I will use that word sometimes. It's just what's going to happen. Since I feel it's better because people seem to use it, and I felt that seems more appropriate. However, I don't know anything about it. Another thing. There's this concept in there with tribes that, things are really weird. I don't know, the pure bloods and the other things and the pure lands and stuff. They got some weird concepts in there that are... You could tell it was from people who are white descended, Like they're mixed. They're mixed white race. They don't know if they're like German or anything like that. They're just white who are trying to understand the national identities and stuff of like Americans and Europeans, stuff, but they just don't get it. So there's a bunch of weird things with that. Like in America, there's basically two tribes, which are the Ultena and the Wendigo are basically the main guys we got. There's more going on, but I'm just skipping over fast. But the way it's treated by people where I live at, like, those were what I wouldn't call them. There are lots of other bands out there. And that each band was, hosted by her groups. And essentially, as far as anyone asked, was the Wendigo who was hosting and whatnot. And the Wendigo would be in groups with other people and stuff like that. But you had Amarok and all these other ones there. Simple, it's done. But I want to talk about, for just the moment of talking about bands. In America, we use the term bands for talking about the different groups, like the Dene would be a band, and there would be bands within that band. Well, yeah, that would be a band. And so with the Hoakley, that would be a band. So we use it, they use it. Y'all use the term bands instead of tribes. But on official documents for the white man, it's all listed as tribes. Yeah, that's the dumb word they decided to use, so the legal words still use it. So there you go. It's a little bit of information I wanted you know about there. So if, I have werewolves talking or, actual Americans talking, communicating in games, they're more likely to use the term band. Literally, that's what they use. It's what people use, and so the werewolves will use it too because that's what was used when I was praying, so that's what really happened. Yeah. I would use the word Haraka tribe all the time because I was weird in calling a werewolf spiritual nation the same thing as it did like a human nation, Those little weirds, so calling them bands was odd. So it was tribes for me. What? I'm trying to grow up, trying to do a better job of things, so there you go. Woof. So that's a little bit more about World of Darkness and how it'll be played and what's going on there. I should probably mention I have not played 5th edition anything. I saw 5th edition Hunter and I was like, that's not it. I saw 5th edition Vampire Masquerade and I was like, oh, this had some cool concepts, but it's dumb. And I saw a bit about 5th edition werewolves, but I never see or play or anything. It seemed like it was just showing up and then everything about it just sort of disappeared from everywhere and no one was talking about it, so I don't know what happened. But nor do I really care too much. I'm really enjoying the older editions. But it would be nice to know a little more about that. But it's not a big deal. Yeah, that's World of Darkness stuff. We would skip over any more and that we'll talk about more later. Let's see here. Let's talk a bit about growing up. Yeah, let's see that. So, I grew up primarily in Alaska. I did a lot of travel to different areas, though, not just amongst the state of Alaska, but around the world. Yeah, I got to check out Botswana. That was pretty cool. They really had a good cassette scene over there when I was there. These parts I was in. And I didn't go to Australia when I was doing my big traveling stuff at the time. I've only been there a teeny bit, not enough to really have a good view at it. Europe's weird. Hungary was kind of nice, but yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, the Americas are nice. Everyone will also say, at least they were, and then they got kind of messed up, but that's what socialists do, is fuck up everything. It's what they do, so, yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, I did a lot of travel stuff. But there's a lot of time spent in Alaska, and there's a lot of stories in them, so and all of things I've encountered, seen, or people I know. We're going to just go ahead and talk about a few of those real quick. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk about... Well, yeah, tell a story about a bus driver. So, there's this area. It's... I used to live there. But there's this area where it's in Anchorage, technically, but it's not near the main city parts. It's, I don't want to give too much info away, but for the purpose of the story, the bus driver is driving in an area called Clat, which is by Clat Elementary School. He is actually behind it, and he's driving down that road, and the bus breaks down. This happens sometimes. There's, a lot of magnetic stuff going on. There's all sorts of weird things all over the state, so this isn't too rare. But the bus breaks down, and he doesn't know something very important about the bus he's driving. So, I'll tell you a bit more about this area. This area is woodland. It's lawn trees, just all over its trees. Like, you have 15 feet of trees, and between those 15 feet, on either side, like forward, backwards, there's one pathway, small, and it goes over to a house that's at least 15 feet in, blocked by trees before you get to the yard and the actual house. And they're all separated like that. All the houses are separated like that. And there's usually more woods behind them and stuff. So that's the area he's going for. And it's close enough to the water and gets enough wind that there's builds up a fog down there that'll be about up to 5 feet tall, especially around like late fall, early spring. You'll see this sort of fog build up there a lot. So, yeah. And there's something that lives in that area that is scary. So he doesn't know about it, though. He doesn't know about this animal, but lives there. Read it. But, yeah, so he's there. Buses stop. He gets out of his seat, and looks around, tries to figure out anything obvious, and can't figure it out. So he takes out a little flashlight. He heads down, opens the door, walks out of the bus, and then heads over around the front of the bus. And he gets down on his knees, and then he flips onto his back and goes under the bus to check the engine. After a while of doing this, notice the things are weird. It's quiet, like dead quiet. There isn't even a TV playing at most people's houses. Nothing. Not even a crow, not a raven, I'm a seagull, nothing. No sounds at all. It's almost extra weird. There is, however, luckily for him, one magical thing going on here. One light of the bus is still on. It's this big beam of light on the left side of the bus. That's it. So he gets up, and he gets out. Like, he's so silly. He doesn't have survival skills, so when he gets out from under the bus, he basically gets to his back to where the front of him is facing the bus. Front of him, bus. Now, as he's getting up towards his knees, about to get up higher, he has this feeling behind him. Whatever the reason, everything's quiet. It's right there. So he slowly finishes standing up and turning to look at it. And what he sees at the edge of the beaming light, right before the curve of the road, is this big white wolf. This huge white wolf. Like, it's a bigger than a normal wolf. It's like bear-sized wolf. Okay, it's a huge white wolf, and it's thick, and it's staring him down. His eyes are glowing yellow in the freaking, light of the bus. And he just, looks at it and just locks his eyes like its feet. And Bill's like, rip head down. And it's the most smart thing this man has done. And staring at his direction, slowly back walked his way towards and into the bus, and then closed the door. That's when he looked again after closing the door and losing it. He goes, yeah. Then he sits down and he calls, the bus station about this and everything and stuff. And they tell him the most obvious thing you do not know. The engine of the bus is accessible from inside the bus. Never had to leave. Could easily just open it up right there. So work on it like a motorhome. So that's what he does. And gets it working, the light comes on, everything works, and gets on with his day. Now, what's hilarious is he kept this to himself for like 2 weeks before letting the kids know. So before anyone who knew the area knew about that, we had 2 weeks scared and suffering, thinking he'd seen some anomalous beast. Thing is, there's a big white wolf that lives there who has blue eyes. This big white wolf lives there. Eats a lot of things. It has a weird habit, though. This albino wolf has this habit of killing things like rabbits, deer. Well, no, it's not deer. Like rabbits and moose. It's killed a few moose. So that's actually really, really fucking cool. Wow, I didn't think about how epic this freaking wolf was when I was younger, but it's taking down a few moose. And a lot of things, rabbits. No, I don't think they had any caribou over there, but it got a few other animals too. And pets, they got pets sometimes. But yeah, it would take the heads. It might have got people, but I don't know. No one ever told me if it did. I don't think so. No one ever recorded it, but maybe. Don't know. A lot of people don't ever report people dying. They don't. That's not how that state works. So, it would take their heads and put them on the side of the road. Like, bleh. Now, right there in the little gutter, or right above the gutter, or on the side of it. We would do that. And we'd take heads and just, bleh, put them on the side of the road. And I can only imagine how terrified this bus driver would have been if he'd seen this wolf and it had put a moose head down on the ground in front of him. I think he'd have quit that day. I think he would have been like, nah, bullshit, demon wolf, I'm out, and just sit a clan and quit that job. Been like, yo, I'm out, never coming back. But yeah, so that was just a normal wolf who just lived on their own over there. It wasn't ever really a problem for anybody as far as I knew. It just lived there. So. Or yeah, you can see rabbit heads and stuff outside the road all the time. Overall, I think some people come by and collect them. I know it's a nice way to get a free head. Get a nice skull out of it, maybe some fur. Not much fur, but some. So, yeah, whatever. A rack if it's a moose, on these pictures of bull moose. I don't remember any bull moose heads, but. Or no. Could've. Now, and maybe some people hunted moose there, and that's why I was able to get a whole moose. That's just shoot them in your yard. Take them out. A lot of people don't use the heads, but you should take the antlers. So, hold on. Don't know. And people know what to drink, take the head, make moose nails and all this other fun stuff. But yeah, so that was just a normal wolf that lived there. People would think he was like a wolf dog or something like that because he was so big, but I think he was kind of fat. I think he was a really big, muscular wolf who was a little fat. I think people were feeding him. And it could have been wild animals somewhere too, if it was shots and bone at the eat. But I don't know. We didn't know. The bus driver did not know that was just a normal ass wolf, so he spent 2 weeks thinking that mega uber ultra, super wolf was there. And there's some legends about wolf-like things who are bigger and scarier or not, who will behead people and leave their heads on pikes and stuff like that, or whatever. And I can tell you that's probably true. It's probably someone that did that because just a normal wolf would do that and did do that. Like right over there by the elementary school. So, like whatever. It's just a thing. There's a two other weird things that were down there, which are pretty cool. So had one other white wolf encounter, by the way, which is very different, very distant to the white wolf encounter. That's all supernatural and weird, but the actual encounter with the white wolf thing, not that one, because that one was mainly talked about and sometimes seen just sort of walking, doing what it does, or so it's yeah, I saw it put down a rabbit's head, a squirrel head, whatever. But what I had a problem with was when I was in my own backyard, somewhere else entirely, probably. My own backyard, the cross in a swamp. And I'm on the trampoline, and this smaller white wolf, like coyote size, it's small for a wolf, but it leaps the fence. Oh, and this one does have red eyes. I guess albino with red eyes. And I think it was rabid or something. I don't know what was wrong with it, but something was definitely wrong with it. There was something wrong with this thing. And, like, the spiritual possibilities of what was going on was, there was a lot on there. But, yeah, so it ran right through, like, little bushes and stuff, straight under the trampoline. Instead of, like, a scene with a brain, which could have, like, jumped on the trampoline and, like, got me. But under it was, like, nipping at, like, where my feet were and stuff. And next to there's something wrong with it. It's running at me. Like, it's trying. It's in my emotion, but it's moving slower. And it should. There's something wrong with this thing. And I, being, of sane mind back then, I'm like, this is a problem. I am terrified. Oh my gosh, like, And I jump to trampoline, the maximum force I could get from trampoline, closest to the bottom of the hill that I could, and run, and I run around the little, it's like bushes, and then there's this arch, run like sort of around there, and I run towards the house, open the bug door, and then I get through, and I open the normal door, and I close the normal door behind me, and like a few seconds after it finished closing the normal door behind me is when it reached the bug door. It was like scratching up the bug door, tearing at the bug door, ripping and tearing the bug door to like pieces, but it didn't get past it, and it just locked the doggy door, just right next to it. And then I went upstairs with the dogs, and so you had like 20 dogs. So went up there, and in Illinois, none of them were outside. If they were, like, they might have got rabies, so I guess it's a good thing they went. But, yeah, that happened. And then, until down later, and it's gone. A year later, my parents got home too and stuff. And I see the door ruined, so I know what actually happened. And, like, there's slobber on the bottom of the trampoline and stuff, so we washed that away and everything and stuff, but we never saw it again. But yeah, that was a thing. And there was this whole other thing going on spiritually at the time about like an image of a white wolf with bad eyes. It's just a lot of people were having nightmares about it and stuff. So I don't know if that was something like or telling that there was actually a thing, or if it was like a demon, a evil spirit, or anything like that. I don't know for sure. I can say a lot of things, but I can say it was actually an albino red-eyed wolf who was kind of small, who did choice me. I think that was the only time I'd ever had a bad issue with an albino animal. They had another white animal that wasn't albino, but attacked me and chased me in my yard once. But that was because people were being stupid and set that whole thing up into a problem. They made it a problem. It wasn't before that. They would have been fine. But yeah. That's the only time I had a problem with an albino animal. Since we had mile ferrets before, they were great, silly little buggers. Their name is Cherry. And we had multiple cherries. Just they would live to their old age, and then boop, and you get a new one. Yay! You know, but yeah. So actually, with that was cool, but yeah, I think never bought one as a baby. So the worst got one that was living its life. Yeah, would have cherry and the pepper. I would be the other one. Had carrots, and then we had my dolls, cat dogs, and cats, and sometimes other animals. Like we had two iguanas for the long time that they were cool. Fish, what's my side fish? Yeah, just for cool. I mean, I had birds for a while too. But yeah, so I have one other weird encounter with wolves. That was, another weird encounter I had. Most of my encounters with wolves have been pretty normal. I've had a few weird ones, like, I saw a drunk guy somewhere once, like just on the other side of the street. There he's almost tougher now and stuff, and then a wolf just comes up behind him, puts its head over his, and pulls it into the underbrush, and he's gone. So I didn't care. He was drunk. So and that word, my group, I mean, implies a lot worse than just someone who drinks a lot of alcohol. And my son was likely like a rapist or a child taciturn or something like that in combination with being someone who drinks. So we have extra mean words towards that. He was a known junk. So that is something that to explain it to you. So I did not care. No one of any morality cared. And that kind of stuff happened a lot back then. Like, a lot. Like, I remember seeing someone, what is it? There's this thing you would do around Mountain View and stuff there where you didn't harvest dead people properly, which was a thing that we would do in a lot of areas. Like, what a lot of people would do in a lot of areas, I should specify, especially across Anchorage, was harvesting people, or even like killing them and then harvesting them. It was big business over there. Mess up. But, as far as I knew growing up, it was like saying you were a mailman. You'll be part of that business. It's equatable. I'm so bad I'm out of that. Anyways, but yeah, so you can tell I didn't grow up on the nice side of Anchorage. I know there's nice areas in Anchorage. And I went up, but that's not where I was for a long time. And then, eventually, but I did get to be in the nice parts of Anchorage, and it was there sometimes. I loved seeing the Buddhist monks. They were super cool. It'd be at garage sales and stuff, and nicer neighborhoods and everything. It was, I say nice when you'd still see, like, your gnomes would be stolen and whatnot, and there would occasionally be a murder and everything like that. So it happens, but there's definitely nicer neighborhoods that are still messed up versus ones that are just bad. But yeah. So, anyways, really love the dogs and my cats. They did a lot to save our lives and matter a lot to me. So, thank you. And save my family who kept us safe and really did a lot to try and continually improve our lives as we were growing up and gets further and further from the bad, horrible things that were going on everywhere around us. Oh my God. A lot of great work done to get us in good shape. But yeah, the other weird experience I had with a wolf that was scary and bad and not normal, you would see other things like, a feral wolves might go after somebody and scare them and stuff, and the person's like, that's off, That type of thing would happen sometimes. No one cared. Wolf dogs, different story. There's all sorts of bad things that happen there. I remember driving on a ATV? No, it wasn't ATV. It was the other one. It was the ATV's the other story. It was the snow machine. Snow machine. Yeah, snow machine. So there's still snow. Snow time was ending. Those ATVs were gonna be soon. But You're on snow machines. We're heading into Fairbanks. And there's a pack of wolf dogs that came running up. Like, just out of the woods, they came running up towards us. And it wasn't my buddy. I'm still the guy. I'm trying to remember what our relationship was. I don't know what our relationship was, but it was some guy. It was me, my buddy, the two sisters, and this guy. And he was the one who took out his gun. It was a rifle that was super thick. And he took it out and shot it. And just killed one of the wolf dogs, and it went down. And the wolf dogs, rather than chasing after us or dispersing, just jumped on that blood and started eating him. That was a messed up experience. And there were a few other ones like that with wolf dogs. Because a lot of people would think, oh, wolf dog makes into magical, perfect dog. And yeah, there's a lot of people would just release their wolf dogs and they were become problematic. Just leave it at that. Yeah, so a lot more problems with wolf dogs with wolves. Let's see here. The other weird wolf thing that happened with me was round hunting. We're way close to the town. We're not nowhere near Anchorage. Okay, ATV time. The flowers and stuff had just started turning red. So there's a lot of like red plants around, and it's after all the fires. So a lot of the trees in the area we're at, it just burned. And then there's these red little plants and the yellow ones everywhere. Man, you can go down towards Muskeg if you go far enough, but we're over here, and I'm on the ATV, and I go up to this hill. It's almost, this area is almost as hilly as, like, I don't know if you've ever been, like, the hilly parts of, like, Wisconsin. I think more people have probably seen that than Alaska. So, you've been able to say it's sort of like that sort of hilly, but it just keeps going up. Wisconsin like, goes up into the mountain. So we're right around there. It's all the dead trees and burnt trees and plants and stuff and baby trees trying to grow and everything. And the red and the yellow. Probably feels really weird. It's really fun. I stop the ATV and I get off the ATV and I walk in front of the ATV about 10, 15 feet, somewhere in that range. A little hard to tell because of elevation. Get a little higher up. And I hear a growl. And it's like weird. I don't know how to explain. You could feel it before you heard it. And I turn around. Back to the ATV. And on the other side of the ATV, but still on like my half, like on the right side of the ATV, just where I got off at, and that's where this thing was, but behind it. But to its right was a wolf. It was like, I don't know how to say it. They were like a little more bluish looking in their fur than like the normal gray wolf you expect to see. Like, at the back, a little lower down than what you expect. He lowered himself down more than you expect, but they're like, oh, it's weird. So he was there. That one, but his mouth wasn't open. It was just the teeth exposed. It's usually like a being behind big teeth or type of thing. At least that's from my experience. But the audience looking at you, the mouth closed, like the game, like what's your teeth? But he just gave me this different look, and there was just something about it that was like a cat ready to pounce. Like it was tonight. It was gonna kill me. I wasn't there hunting wolf. We were after. Yeah. What the hell were we licensed for at the time? Not caribou. Had to be bison, eh? Had to be. I had to be what we're after. Hey, I didn't catch nothing this whole trip, I'm gonna tell you that. But there's that wolf. There's me. And I'm like, okay, this thing means to kill me. I'm gonna die. as I am in the jump zone, which is the range where if it goes full force with a jump, it can reach it. Now, moose and wolves were pretty similar jump zone. And they don't look like they do, but they do. And this thing's ready to go. It's like, well, panther mode, which is not the normal stance a wolf takes either. I don't know if you know that. They have their own little, like, almost like a fox jump type of thing that they do, but not quite. It's a little angst, but no, he's doing like a scat thing. So I get my gun, it was on my back. I get it out. Over, like an idiot, like over my head, like instead of just around. I'm so stupid. But anyways, so I get it over there. And this gun I have is a custom gun. Some nut job up there made. People do this all the time. They make their own guns, make their own ammo. It's a thing. I had this gun, had two modes. They had a rifle mode and shotgun mode. No, I had it in rifle mode. And I'm like, no. So the coolest part comes here and loaded for both. So I do this thing where I go click, and I twist it over and put it into shotgun mode. And I'm wearing gloves like an idiot. My gloves should have been off. I should have had this many to go correctly and just been ready. But no, I'm stupid. But I get that. Put it all back together and I'm in shotgun mode. And I go, oh, turn to look at it. This is again custom ammo. But I've used ammo from this guy. I've used this gun before. I've caught rabbits with it. I've caught caribou with it. I've done some pretty damn good shooting with this gun. Both modes. I take it. I aim it right down the sides. I don't know how long this took in reality. It felt like 1,000 fucking years, but it could have just been a few seconds. It felt like forever. I aim it right on the wolf, like right on him. And this is literally like for less than 20 feet away from each other. There's no way I can miss. Shoot him. Right. Down. There you go. And I don't like using the shotgun mode because of the pushback. But I did it. And boom. Got it. Right there. Boom, dead on. He's been hit. The ATV is fine. But he didn't bleed. This is the strangest thing. He didn't go down. He didn't breathe. He just stood up a little better, like went up to his proper foremates, turned his head down low, but went to the other side of the ATV and ran, then crawled up the hill like a normal wolf. It's like the hill I'm next to. He went up that way, and I'm just dumbfounded. I don't know a better word for it. I'm dumbfounded. I'm staring there. I just so weirded out and dumb. Instead, I do the most horror movie protagonist for 10 minutes thing to do. And I followed them. And I'm like, I don't even have a gun at the ready anymore. As an idiot. So I just walk up there. Like, ask the way it walk right up there. I go up just over the hill, walking for it like an idiot. Like, what? And then I notice by this tree that's to my left there, it's a big, like, dead tree is the bark. There's a hole in front of it. And I do the dumbest thing I've ever done. I go up to the hole. And I go down on my knees. And the gun is on the ground now. Then I push my head into the hole. Like an idiot. There's a little bit of sunlight going there, so I can see when I got my head down there that there's like some like spider webs looking things. Besides, I don't know if they're really spider webs. They look like spider webs to the sides, and it's just like this area, like this big, foot and a half by foot and a half tunnel that goes in and then it turns to. When I was, it would turn. If you entered the hole, like if you entered the hole, it would turn to the left. But since I was looking upside down, it turned to the right. And luckily for me, the wolf wasn't like right there. I could have just got my face, right the row, pulled me in, and I'd be dead, dead, down, eaten. But no, if it went there, and it got all the way around the little bend. And so I got up, get my freaking gun, walk back down to the ATV, drive back to the base camp where everybody else would meet up later. I didn't catch anything. I didn't bother trying to catch anything else. That was it for me. That was the end of that trip. I was betrayed by my gun. Like, a gun did not work on that thing. It didn't bleed. So I walked past where I shot it. There's no blood. Nothing. He got up on the ATV left. I just, no, hunting trip was over for me. That was it, done. So, yeah, that was the other weird wolf experience I had. There's a few other weird experiences and weird animal experiences and stuff I had and things, but that was there's a problem. Something's wrong. This is unnatural. I've never shot anything with a shotgun or a rifle, and it did not bleed. Let alone just get up and walk away. Like, run? Sure, that's happened. Just walk off, like, do. No, that's the only time that's ever happened. And it shouldn't have. That should have been down. That should have been done. Boom. And well, got a wolf pelt, get a wolf hide, maybe we can do something with the meat. We'll do stuff with the meat. The people keep the meat, but, like, it's weird. You do weird work with it and stuff. Don't ever do jelly meat, but, like, he likes to do jelly meat because he can when we're out hunting. Anyways, so it's for around the season when you can do it too, so yeah. It was weird. Yeah. I didn't get out to the Yukon as much as I wanted. But that made me thankful. Is that there's a few other places, but there's so much stories and crazy batshit things that have happened over there. You used to cross the entire Canada and Alaska, all of it. So many crazy things. You only hear like the teeniest fraction if you don't live in the areas. Like if you live in Canada, you might hear all these crazy Canadian stories. If you live in Alaska and hear all these crazy Alaska stories, they're going to be from that specific region that you're in within a state. You're not going to hear all of them unless you do a lot of moving around and really building good, strong relationships with people across the state. I got way too many stories about way too many weird things, and it's really cool, but at the same time frightening, because somehow, some way, something like what they're saying actually happened, because I don't know how to explain what happened with me. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know. It sounds supernatural. It sounds bizarre, but that's what happened. Did a supernatural thing happen? Cool. Great. Did a non-supernatural thing happen? I just don't know what it is. Cool. Great. I don't care either way. That was enough for me. And, there's a bunch of weird things. Weird things. Let's see here. What else can I talk about? I talked about weird encounters of wolves. Really. It's a lot of normal encounters with wolves that I've had. Like when we would go camping, we would take the motorhome out, and we'd always use the motorhome. But it really depends on the season. We'll get the motorhome to get us there with our supplies, and then we'd go out, set up our camping stuff, and go do that. So if anything went really wrong, we always had the camper in the motorhome available to us to use. So, yeah, that was great. It was super smart. I gone camping with buddies or out hunting with buddies. Didn't bring that thing, then we've had problems. So, didn't bring a motorhome, didn't bring a big vehicle. Go to the little cabin or whatever, and that's not enough. A truck and a cabin, things go bad, you'd be thankful you have those, but you'd be a lot more thankful you had a motorhome. Yeah. So yeah, the other thing, and now it wasn't counted, it's like, and motorhome, pull him, we place it down, and I would often sleep in the back on the big bed, but every now and then I would sleep inside of the table that would hook on the bed. But I remember in the front of the motorhome up there while Dad's driving, and I'm there on top of the engine instead of the seat, put it like a seat. And the mom's around the night sleeping where we'd see oftentimes we'd see like a pair of wolves like walking into the middle of the road to check out what's going on. Look at us, check out the motorhome and everything, and they would move on. That was a pretty common sight. Especially, past Little Millers. But there's a bunch of other weird things. And when we would go to a campsite, it would be oftentimes we would check out my back seat. So, it's the bed at the time. You're in the bed, and you look out the back windows, and it's right around dusk. You'll usually see a pair of wolves. So come out, be about 15 feet away from the motorhome normally, and they'll check out the motorhome and the campsite, and you'll see them move on and start checking out other places too. There's usually a pair, sometimes you see three, but like that amount of wolves would usually come by around dusk or so and check people out and then continue about their way. I think they're really just checking to see if you like left out some food, dropped some stuff from your daily barbecue or whatever. And if it's like, hey, it's a camp that's abandoned or everyone's asleep, and just go in, get a free snack, and then head out. But they could also just be checking, hey, are you guys hunters? You guys have guns? I don't know. But they would just check them and move on. And that would be pretty normal. And I would get to see a bunch from I saw. The most amount of wolves that I would see that way was you would see that stereotypical gray wolf, but without the brown patches. You'd see a lot of those. And you'd see a lot of one who looks like brown, but with like black hands. Its little feeties would be black. Usually their nuzzle and most of their face would be black. Those would be the two most common colors of wolves you would see out. You go camping. Oh. And there is a semi-mythical creature that I would encounter regularly. I say that because a lot of people think they're myth. But they're just normal animals. But they're cool. But I've heard all sorts of weird stories about them. But not when I was a kid. I heard those stories about them later. Now as a kid, they were just accepted as a normal, ordinary animal. They were just a thing that was there and you pay respect to. What? So, if you go, past what's those, it's very far out there. As you went out this way, there's a stretch of road. It's a big stretch of road where they have this concept called the pizza fox. We call it the pizza fox because one of the last places you get if you're heading out, here's a pizza place. We always buy pizza. You get us pizza and have it with you and you go. So there are these big red foxes. Even when it's been snowing, they were still red. Like red. Like most foxes are orange. You could call them red and be like, yeah, that's a red fox. And they're big. And they're really big. The only other place I've ever seen one that was that big was actually Wisconsin. Yeah, it was one of the random parks with a theater in it in Wisconsin. That's the only other place I've ever seen a fox this big. Ever in my life. Because it's like the size of a coyote. Like, it's like that, but broader. Like, picture a coyote and make it broad and color it as a red fox. That's a freaking pizza fox. We call him pizza fox. That's a better, more appropriate name for him. And then people would call him this what's other word? It basically means fox, but it's used for like fox women. But they would apply to it. And I feel that's appropriate. That's an appropriate name for him. They're big, they're intelligent looking, like they really read a room and people really well. Like they know what's up more than you do. Then they were just like walk up, like do, and people, and not just us, by the way, weren't the only ones who did this. Like there were other people who would do the same thing, and you'd see one of these guys at a time. There was a lot on that stretch of road, a lot. And people would take out a pizza, like the whole box with the pizza, one whole pizza, and they would put it out there. And they had to just throw it out the window, or they just stop, put it out the door, and when the pizza fox would come by, grab it and grab the whole freaking box, lift it, and then walk off with it. And it is a big pizza boxes, and those looked like medium size, maybe smaller, when these things were carrying it, and would just take the whole pizza box and just strut off into the woods and disappear from it now. But like, things always went well. Like we'd do that, and then we'd go and go fishing. That we'd always do something out there, hunt, we fish, we do something, and catch good fish. Like we would catch quite a few. Some of you have one jump in the boat. So there's all sorts of stories about those foxes, and I don't know them all. I don't understand them. All sorts of weird stuff. But basically, you feed the pizza fox, and you have a good time out camping. That's just how it goes. And that's how it was. I have no idea if that's still a thing. Maybe it's like a thing with the park service and stuff, where they go make sure those guys are taken care of. I really don't know. I should go find out. Maybe I should. I haven't been camping in forever. Like almost 5 years. Yeah, I need to go camping again. I really do. Well, yeah, those the pizza foxes. They're huge. Like, freaking huge. Like, I don't know enough about, but they're huge, and that's just how big they are. And it's not like an exaggeration because I was a small child during those times. No. Well, those things were just big. The big foxes. I hear people talking about the fox wives with them and stuff like that. And that thing just would skid off and was a lady underneath. I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. If it just stood up on two legs and, so walking around and like, okay, that's fine. That seems reasonable. But yeah, they're a big weird one that's super cool I'd seen. And for my fiance, they're a weird animal that they've seen that they don't believe is real, and their brain can't process as being a real extant being, is the narwhal. And like for me, a narwhal is just a gas narwhal. But like I remember the pizza fox and how I was like, dang, that's cool. That's something. We meet, and I know, yeah, I understand how our brain can't process the novel. I get it. But wait, I understand how their brain can't process the novel. Is it her brain? My brain can't run. Oh my god. Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness. Wait. Both are down the down. Oh, okay. So my parents are watching a video, and it's with this dog. It's that dog who's got the backwards bent legs. Who wants a short neck. It's such a cutie. Oh, you didn't watch the whole documentary about him. Oh, it's so cute. Anyways, what was I say? Oh yeah. Geez, I'm tired. This video is going on pretty long. But let's see here. I've seen a few other foxes. I shot the two places I've seen those big foxes down that one stretch of road, and then once in Wisconsin. That was it. And I've never seen foxes that big anywhere else ever in my life. Any country. If like fox farms, they're nowhere near that big. They're just cheap little foxes. My. Never heard the ones in Alaska make noise though. But the one that I saw in Wisconsin, I did hear make noise, and it just sounded a little different. Not even that different. It just sounded a little odd, a little bit more of a bellow to it, you know? And it's oh, okay, just that. Let's see, any other funky, fresh stories I can talk about? Let's see here. Probably quite a few, but I think that's enough for this video. Yeah. Okay. So, friendos, I did a lot of talking today. There was a lot of weird things I talked about. There's always a bunch of weird stuff. Oh, my life is full of weird, apparently. I had no idea. No, I just felt like it was a normal life, and everyone I knew and went through way more stuff than I did, so I always felt that I didn't encounter anything weird, but I have. So, I'm telling you the things that you're saying, oh, that's not enough to really talk about. It's not enough to generate a story and tell people, like, yeah, I went to this weird thing and this would happen. Like, now it's just pizza foxes, man. But I know this guy's, it's not all something weird. And I'm like talking to people from outside state, and it's like, oh, that's very weird. I did no idea. But yeah, I guess I should tell you about a few other things. Yeah, that's good. Before I leave this video, I'm gonna talk about one thing. Yes, I'm going to sit an urban legend or camping story or any other I heard this stories in here. I'm gonna do it. So, here is a story. I heard this. On roads, leaving Fairbanks, going north in Fairbanks, and sometimes we are going out in Anchorage, going down, we can see the belugas and everything on the bay. Down those two directions, either one, there are road signs. And sometimes, in the dead of night, you will see a strange feminine figure behind the boat signs. Her body is like ice. She's almost got a triangular appearance to her, and her like fingers are almost like triangles. She has bluish tint. What if you're at the right light? She'll radiate like a purple star. You'll see her behind the slime. As you go past the signs, now ready. You'll hear her running. When you look, she'll be gone. Yet the next sign, you'll see her again. But that's it, that's the story. Now, that story, when I heard about it, and I was like, oh, she is net, that's Wackaguru. I was like, oh, that's a Wechuge. And then people had told me, so I had no idea what the hell a Wechuge was. So, the Wechuge is that there's two things that have a name, by the way, and I could be pronouncing it wrong. It's been a long time. I remember being Wechuge, it could be Wechuge, whatever, but that's how I was told it. So that's how I'm saying it. So, sorry. Anyways, so the Wechuge is one of two things. In one tradition, Wechuge is this giant monster that is like the size of a mountain. Usually has like a moose head or stuff like that. It will reach down and eat people. And I've heard stories about that version. I have. and they were by Flat Top. I'll tell you that in a minute. But the other version, which I was told first, and I knew first, was of basically a cannibal spirit. So what would happen is someone ate the flesh of a man or a woman or a child, and if I remember right, the conditions were that they felt nothing for them. When they did this, there was no uh, deference towards them or anything, or like, oh, they had sacrificed so much so they had to live type of thing. No, it just ate them. And then that hardened their heart. And like, from the heart out, they began to freeze. The other version I heard is that they froze from the outside, and that you could save them if you got to them before the heart froze. I heard both ways. But the thing is, once the heart froze, they were basically like darn near impossible to kill or to fix. And all sorts of weird things, like dropping them into a pit, stabbing them with heated, like basically spears, the harpoons, and everything all heated up, and then just stabbing at them with it and chipping at them all day for like days and stuff till you finally get it to crack and break them and stuff like that. There's all sorts of things like that. But in the original telling I was told, it was a woman who had eaten the flesh of her husband and, become this thing because she did not care. And this other man who loved her tried to save her and stuff from this fate, but her heart wound up freezing over. They had to drop her in the pit and kill her that way. With, bird stones and everything they would. And then the harpoons. It was a whole. Yeah, it was a horrible, horrible thing that had to happen. It was the only way to kill her because she would start eating people when she froze them too far. She would go and hunt them down, and kill them and eat them. So, it had to be done. Yeah. So, that's the Wechuge. And when I heard that story about the ice woman falling from the signs, I was like, oh, that's a Wechuge, oh, shit. So I was like, oh, spooky. And then, the other Wechuge met and the other kind that has the same name applied to it. Now, I don't know if that name was being used like how Wendigo is often used, which is as a catch-all for creatures of this type, like white people would call American elders or other stupid things like that. But I don't know if it's used as a catch-all or if it is very specific on these things and then it's being used for both, and if one's inappropriate or if both are fully appropriate, I do not know. But yeah, there's a story of a man who was walking towards Shreta, and it's a fucking gate. And he's walking there, and he's not making a lot of noise or anything. He's just walking along to not his phone, it was like, beeper? Wherever he's looking at that. I don't want to say beeper. I don't think that's right, though. Was it like like has like a Kindle? I'm having a Kindle. So he's looking at something. And there's two ladies to his right who are walking along the path too. And eventually, as they're walking towards Fuerta, then they sort of trade spots to where they're in the middle of the path. As he's about, 8 feet or so behind him. There's on the right side, path closer to, foliage and everything. And then he notices it's kind of quiet and everything. He looks at the girl's tapping. He looks up and you're trying to see what's going on. Might into fire are the birds. And he sees this like shadow in the distance, this far away shadow. And he hears a howl. The howl's not coming from something way further away. And it's not right. It's like this saddening despair of a howl. And he's like terrified. And instead of doing anything, instead of explaining as his shadow creeps closer, and like comes into view, taking a step towards him, and it's just this teeny shadow. It's like far away, a thin figure, and I guess, boom, feels that wild sky. He like, walks backwards and to the right until he's by, I want to say a tree, but I don't think that was actually a tree. But he gets something over his head, down low, a long time. Since I remember the story, but he said he was looking at the shadow, and it approached his head was almost like a skull, but it was like pale. But there was a face with expression, and it had this malice in it, like the muscles of the skull. That's how he described it, muscles of the skull, and like angered. And it reached down with like his fingers, like I don't know if you can see it, but like the pinky is forward. No, pinky's back. The finger next to the pinky is forward. The other two are up, and the thumb reaches down, and then it was in the middle. Thumb and then the middle finger, and it gets both sides, so like this thumb and the one to either side of the women, and then the third finger comes down, and it just lifts them, and it go right into its mouth. Just a grabs a minute, and it continues forward, like walking over him and moving past. And and his face, he described it as like a skull, but like an elongated skull with the muscles made out of like bone. That's how he describes it. You couldn't tell if it had ears or antlers or something of the two, but it was like something was going on there with the head, and those were dark, but the face was like death. And it walked over, and then the sky was like clear. There were noises again. It was a long time before he moved, but he heard the wolf sounds again, a little later, but they were on the other side of the trail, like to his left. Yeah, look, the weird, off-putting wolf sounds. So that was his supposed to go to Flat Top, but he just went the fuck back into his truck and went to the bar. And that's how we met. Well, yeah. So that's my other, those are my two Wechuge stories. I don't have more. If you have any stories like that, let me know. I'll try and detail these better, and I'm still trying to kind of, I was making a list of all the old stories I was told, not all the different things. So I could try and tell them to people so that people would know and understand better the, like, creatures of Alaska, urban legends, the cryptids and their quotes, and the, mythological beings. And you have better respect for it instead of all BS we see online. But, yeah, so there you go. I think it's a really good place to call it for the night. I love your friendos. I'm gonna do more podcast stuff. I hope this was fun. Had a bit of different content from all over, and I'll talk more things, and if I put messed up stuff in my videos, a lot of messed up stories, especially about Anchorage. I do want to put in more things to art, so like, oh, that's horrible or sad or whatever. I'm often one of the nicest stories. I remember what. I got I was one. Go ahead, this is hilarious. Okay, I have a funny story. So, one of the orange cats we used to have, his name was Busty. Yes, the cat told some before I end the video, so you have a nice funny video, nice funny story to this. We had a cat, named Rusty. It was an orange cat. One day, I'm upstairs looking down from the banister rails. Then, I see Rusty walk up and, like, with his arms out to the side, it's walking up the stairs, is walking up towards the blanket that's just on the floor, a square blanket on the floor downstairs in the middle of the room. He walks his way up to it, and he gets to, and then he puts his hand, face on it, and like, boom, bites it, like right in the middle of where he's at. It's like normally about 5 inches in, and well, not 4, but 5 inches. They bites it, and he goes, now, but he starts doing that the whole kneeing thing, like, and I'm at first like, okay, that's weird. by him away. And the blanket kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah, the blanket, was more than halfway into his body. He is phenomenal cat, and there's all the space, and there's all these dogs and all these cats, but none of them are around to help or tell him, Rusty, you're being stupid and give him a slap. No one's around but me. He's doing the stupid stuff. So I go down and oh my god, and I try to move down, and I'm like, get us in a blanket, I'm trying to get this blanket out of this cat. And it's pull flop, he's still trying to put it back in there, or I'm like, my pants combine. Well, down from upstairs where my bedroom makes. I chill out, and they help pull this blanket out of his cat. He's just trying to keep it inside of him as much as possible. It's the blanket out of his cat. And then he's just there mountains down, fall happy you can see I built him down. We're oh my god, it's a silly cat. So we put it down and everything and stuff, and he's whatever. But that was the story. He tried to get a blanket. Now he'd a full blanket. Oh my gosh. And the same cat would in spring to midsummer, he would do this thing where he would put his face up towards wooden objects and stuff like that where slums were, and he would press his cat lips, I don't know what the word is for them, up against them and squish the slugs onto his mouth and to rub along the merit, and then he would eat what was left there. No. And then afterwards, he would walk up to people and rub his face on you. That could be on your leg, on your arm, on your face, and you would just, Rusty, what? But yeah, he would do that. Just a silly little cat. No. And we have a bunch of silly little animal stories. I was I gotta tell you some of those before I go. So anyways, I love you, friendos. Thank you for joining me on this video. Don't forget, there's a Ko-Fi opened up for Sakura. It's in the chat. Please help out. And any, liking, subscribing, checking in on me, commenting, any of that stuff helps a lot. I really appreciate those. Any comment helps me greatly. I can't wait for your next video. I can't wait to hear from you again. That's till you get to know. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.